Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earned our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, hit the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we feasting now. Thunder through the tunnels, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle. When we flex that, who they muscle on them. Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the in the jungle, we unite in the trippin' orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who got a move rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossin' on? Now who wanna move?
Who day? Welcome to another episode of Bengals and Brews. I'm Del Altman, joined by my co-host Travis Brown. Derek Davis is working as usual, and filling in for him is Strawberry Ice, the Iceman, Jeff Trennepool.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Hello, everybody. How are we all doing tonight?
I'm fired up. I'm ready for the show, dude, because I couldn't do mine live today, so I'm happy I can at least do something.
Well, I'm glad you were able to join in on this with the usual group of everybody falling apart one way or another here.
Well, I still think it's funny that, this is Derek's original show, and then, he's never on. Still cracks
Never on it. We have a very special guest, former Bengals running back coach for the Lions, coach for the Jags, played at Texas A&M, focused on track and field. We'll talk to him about all these things and more. Former Bengals running back coach, Kyle Caskey.
Hey. Yeah. What's up, guys? Yeah, man. Glad to be here. This is awesome. I've seen your show quite a few times, so anything where I can talk football and drink beer, I'm all for it. So
what are we drinking tonight, everybody? I'll start. I've got my Miller Lite, my trusty Miller Lite, my nice Bengals and Brews koozie. Shameless plug. Kyle, what do you got?
All right, so I went since I'm down here in Louisiana. I'm in Baton Rouge. I went and got this voodoo thing here. Now I did show this to y'all. I'll show it to everybody else. But so Bud Light down here. I usually drink Bud Light, but they screwed the cans up.
Hey.
So, come on.
You can't help where you're living at,
I know.
Why would they put shit on the can? That's disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful. It's disrespectful to that Bud Light. That's why I had to drink it fast so I didn't have to hold the can any longer.
You got to grip it with all your might, just so you can crush the can.
I'll get rid of that can too, so don't worry about that. They'll be long gone.
How about you, Jeff?
Well, I'm starting out with the cheap beer, Bud Light, but then I'm going to crack this bad boy open here, the Jackpot Joey beer. So make sure you guys go out into your local distilleries and stores here and go buy it. I'd appreciate it, but that's what I'm drinking. What about you, Travis?
Oh, well, I got my typical Miller High Life here, but I'm going to do a little something special here because it seems as if the last couple of weeks while I've been on this show, I've gone through one thing or another. And this
COVID.
COVID, yes. By the way, I'm glad you're feeling better, dude.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's the best I've heard you in a while. So
yes.
Glad you're feeling better.
So my voice, my body, inside my chest feels great, but there's something else that does not feel that great right now.
What is that?
That is my balls.
Okay. You want to expand on why your balls are a little sore?
Hold on, what time is it? I am 3 hours after getting a vasectomy. So I'm opening up. I'm gonna drink a little bit of this right here.
A lot of that.
Only because I'm currently sitting on a frozen bag of peas, and it's not helping me any more than what I need. So I'm gonna try and see what else I can do.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna give you a little piece of advice. I had that done 3 months ago.
Please give me all the advice.
All right. So first off, it wasn't as bad as you think it was. So, it's gonna be sore, all that kind of stuff. You have to go to bed with something basically on your balls, because if you don't, I'm just telling you, you're gonna wake up in the middle of the night. They're gonna swell up, man. And it's always good to have some big balls, but not in this case, man. It's like you got to make sure that that you take care of them, because it took about 6 days. I think it was about 6 days, and it finally went away. But there was a time that I didn't go to bed with something on it, and I'm just telling you, it was brutal about 3 in the morning.
That's great news to hear, because for two things: one, thank you for telling me that, so I don't fuck up, and second off, it kind of tempted me because everybody knows this, even people at my wedding. My Xbox tag on it said small X balls. So maybe, just maybe, if I don't put something on there, I'll be normal. So now you're tempting me with a good time. I don't know.
Well, you could be normal all you want, but then, I mean, I'm just telling you, it's a throbbing normal, and it's not necessarily what you want to do.
I feel right now, I feel like I'm already past the punch part, but I am now at the part where it's just pain in your stomach and right on the one spot that you got hit.
Yeah. See, I told y'all I was going to bring it. We're 5:26 into this thing. I'm already talking about balls.
All we've talked about is Travis's nuts.
Well, can I talk about? I don't want to say I don't want to say what I was about to say because I might get clipped out. But I'll tell you my story about my vasectomy. If we're
moving on. We're moving on.
Mine's
no,
awesome.
You know what? I would love to hear this. This is intelligence I need to know because I don't want to mess up.
You guys brought it up. All right, so I had mine. Let's see, my daughter's 18. So I had 18 years ago. So I'm going in there and I got it done. And the doctor's in there doing his little thing or whatever. He goes, hey, you know what? He's trying to like calm me down.
Little thing.
You know, because I'm like a little nervous or whatever. He's trying to calm me down. He goes, hey, man, you all right? I said, yeah. He goes, hey, your balls are smoking. I'm like, thanks. That's great. Thanks for sharing that. And he goes, okay, we're all done. He goes, you want to see it? No, I don't want to see it. He throws it up on there. He goes, see, it looks like spaghetti. I'm like, that's freaking great. That's awesome. So I'm like, okay, cool. So this has been the most uncomfortable thing my entire life. So
what did you just say? Hold up.
He said it looked like spaghetti. You heard it.
Looked like spaghetti. Yes, that's what he said. It looked like spaghetti.
What the hell did you get done?
Did you not get the procedure explained to you, Travis? Do you know what they cut out of you?
He kept his. Don't worry. Don't go there. Don't.
Deal. Do I need to grab it?
So, Kyle, you went to Texas A&M, and
nice segue. Yeah, nice segue.
And you played football there, and then you moved on to focus on track and field, all Big 12 athlete. So, how was that?
I love A&M, and I know they got a bad rap over the weekend. Number one, you can't lose that game. Number two, I know the yell practice, midnight yell, kind of. I don't even know what that dude was thinking. I don't know if y'all seen that video or not, but I mean, you can't do that, and it's just crazy. But I love it there, man. My dad went to school there. My mom went to graduate school. Both my brother and sister started there, but they probably drank their way out of it. So I don't know. They had a good time. They had a good time. But I walked on for 2 years. I was a fullback. That we didn't have a true fullback position at the time, so I was in the tight end room. I was actually a tight end.
Came in as one.
But I was in there with Dan Campbell, who's now the head coach of the Lions. He was 3 years older than me. Didn't really get to know him that well, so I was hoping he'd keep me around. But he had already put his staff together before he even got hired. So it was one of those things that I just was out of luck when Detroit happened. But after 2 years, I ended up placing 7th in the Big 12, which was all Big 12, top 8 got all Big 12. I don't know how they figured that out, but I was easily the smallest discus thrower in the Big 12, like easily, not even close. Yeah. But I got 7th, and they gave me a scholarship, and I went full-time track at that point, and then graduated with my bachelor's in industrial distribution, supply chain engineering, which I've never used. Then I stayed because I redshirted my freshman year, and I got a master's in agribusiness. Sorry, I always want to say agricultural economics, agribusiness. Which I have obviously never used, other than the fact that I know how to eat food. So that was my time there, and I never placed again in track, but I mean, I was on the team and won a Big 12 team title with them, and I won a Big 12 title with the football team as well in '98, the year we beat Kansas State. So I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but Kansas State was number 1 with Michael Bishop. And
I remember. I was old enough. I don't know if these guys were, but I remember.
Yeah, so we knocked them out, and we ended up actually losing to Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl that year. John Cooper was still the head coach, so that's how long ago it was for probably all these 18-year-olds that are listening to your show.
He had probably lost to Michigan like he tended to do, and then
yeah, he did.
I don't even remember. I'll be honest with you. It was a BCS game, so it was it might have been the first year of the BCS actually. So it was 90. It was a season of 90. I think it was the first year of the BCS, and they made it into the BCS Bowl, and we made it in the BCS Bowl because we won. So they must have won the Big Ten. You know.
So I got a question for you, Kyle. How many years were you a coach for the Cincinnati Bengals? Was it 8?
9. Don't shortchange me. Yeah,
I got you.
So we got there. We got there, and we got there in 2010. That was the T.O. show that year. That was an interesting group, by the way.
Hell of a year to get there. Yeah.
Right.
It was like, all right,
Robbins or whatever they try to call themselves.
I actually thought I'm telling y'all, I think we went 4-12 that year, and
yeah,
I remember thinking,
right? That was Fitzmagic year.
I finally got here. No, that was Carson. Carson was there. That was the year he quit. That was the year he quit.
Hurt.
Yeah, that's right. That was the year he quit. Yeah,
he was hurt, but he played. He was hurt, but he played.
Okay.
But so and at the end of the year, I'm like, man, because they were talking about getting rid of Marvin, and I'm like, come on, man, I just got here. Y'all can't kick me out this quick. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
And so that, that's the year that they changed from Brett Caskey to Jay Gruden, and that was also the year of the lockout, that next offseason. Yeah. So you talk about having to go get a quarterback. We lucked out because we got AJ Green and Andy Dalton in the same draft.
Yeah.
And, people can say what they want. That Andy Dalton was a good quarterback for us. Did we ever get over the top? No, but same thing with Jeremy Hill. Everybody wants to give Jeremy a hard time because of one play, and I agree, 100% agree with that. We can get into that later, but like,
no, I don't want to go back down the pain.
He also did a lot of good things for us too. So just sure. but then we made the playoffs. We made the playoffs 5 straight years after that. So
our podcast goes back to that moment almost every single
we go back to that
every game. So somehow the Hill fumble.
Somehow.
Well, y'all can blame that on me. Apparently, I didn't teach him to get down on freaking first down, get down, but which actually I did, by the way. I mean, I literally told everybody going into that series, listen, just run the clock out, get down. Just if you feel like that ball's coming out, fall down, just fall down. Yeah. And it's hard.
Here's adrenaline, you're thinking like, oh man, if I completely get out of here and I'm celebrating in the
it actually opened up. I know none of y'all really want to go back and watch the play, but it actually opened up, and then he got Shea's ear kind of just came out of nowhere from the side, and then he dragged him. He was dragging him down. I swear to you, he was that far off the ground when that ball got ripped out. And it's I didn't speak for 48 hours after that game, and so that night, that was a Saturday night. All right, Marvin called us. Am I cool to go into this story?
Yeah,
I don't know if y'all had. Okay. No. So Marvin called us that night at like 2, or he sent a text out. I'm sorry. He sent a text out at like 2 a.m. and said, hey guys, just take tomorrow off, Sunday off, and we'll meet first thing Monday morning and do it, do the exit stuff with the players and all that. Instead of coming in on Sunday, just listen, guys, go recuperate, drink the vodka or whatever you need to drink to get past this thing. But so I slept till like 11 o'clock that Sunday morning, and my brother-in-law, who, by the way, Dale, looks exactly like you.
Your doppelganger.
So he's a handsome son of a bitch.
I just had I texted my wife a minute ago and I said, you got to send me a picture of your brother. So anyway, he's there. He's a hunter and stuff, but he had come up to the game. Well, he had his crossbow with him, and he ended up shooting a deer out of he slid my back door open, my back sliding door, and shot a deer in my backyard from inside the house. So when I woke up, first thing I see is you walk down the stairs, and then you turn around and you walk right at that door, and the kitchen's to the left. And I'm like, the hell happened out here? Like, I mean, I literally it looked like a murder scene out there because it snowed. So there's like all this blood, deer blood everywhere. And I'm like, I mean, it was freaky looking now.
Yeah.
And then so he actually has those antlers in his house still up outside of Monroe, Louisiana, but he had cut the head off. So, and they were,
hey Matt, don't you worry about it.
Listen, it's not illegal. It's not illegal when the deer is trying to get in your house.
Yeah, there you
go. It's that intrusion rule, and plus it's the statute of limitations is far gone.
I laughed so hard when I saw that comic because that's the only thing I thought of. I was like, I in the backyard like that? What?
But anyway, so he cuts the head off of this deer, throws the deer in the back of their mom, my mother-in-law's Explorer, who they had driven up there from Louisiana. and they put it in a trash bag and put it in the back thinking it wasn't going to stink. And they said they got about halfway, and they said they had to actually get out of the car and like air out the car because the car stunk so bad because this deer head was in the back of the car. So anyway, that all happened after that game. So at least it lightened the mood for a second.
Yeah.
But I'm serious though. Other than that, I didn't speak until I got in there that next morning. I guess it was 36 hours, whatever, on Monday morning when we had to have our staff meeting and then met with the players and all that. So, I mean, I was done. The worst part about it was, I don't know if y'all remember the traffic leaving those games that night. And because, it went down to the last play. So traffic getting out of there was horrible. So I had to sit in traffic for like 2 hours to get
kind of like this past Sunday trying to get out.
Yeah, I was going to say it's basically like this past week after that game, even though it was not a play.
And by the way, Kyle, none of us spoke. I'm like, I sat there and just stared at the TV for like at least a good 10 minutes. I was like Joe Burrow this past week and just staring into the abyss, going like, what the hell happened?
I mean, because I get it. We had AJ McCarron that year, but it was one of those things that I really felt like we were going to still get it done because we went to Denver. Denver won the whole thing that year, remember? And we went to Denver on a Monday night, like 2 weeks before.
Yep.
And I mean, AJ fumbles the ball there, fumbles the snap, there in overtime. But I mean, I really believed that we were going to win that game. And if we would have won that game, we would have had the number 1 seed still. And, if Andy wouldn't have gotten hurt, I really honestly believe if Andy wouldn't have got hurt because he was playing at the highest level.
MVP level that season.
Yeah, I think he would have been in the MVP conversation that year. That's what I kept telling everybody. Until he broke his thumb, he threw an interception, get the squealers, and broke his thumb trying to tackle the guy, and he never played again.
It was, and it's the most, but that happens with everything. I mean, look at Dak Prescott, talking about this week's stuff, I mean, he's falling down and falls wrong on his hand. Like, I mean, he didn't even get hit. I mean, none of their team actually hit him. He just happened to fall down and, sprain his wrist or whatever he did, broke a finger.
It's football, dude. And I'm like, that's why. Well, I have a question for you, Kyle. Now you bring that up here. So the new thing with preseason is that, that nobody plays their starters, trying to get everybody healthy to go into the season. Now, and the Bengals, everybody was healthy going into the season. And then I don't want to say laid an egg, but we didn't play our best game. And we didn't play our best game against Minnesota the very first game last year. But we came out and we won in overtime with the Evan McPherson kick. And if the god of thunder and long snaps, Clark Harris, wouldn't have got hurt, we probably would have won this one in regulation with an extra point. But what's your thought process on the difference between the way probably when you were coaching with Marvin and you guys played guys in the preseason to now where they don't play anybody?
Yeah, if number one, first off, like Clark, if you're listening, buddy, I'm sorry, man. That sucks because he's one of my favorite people on that team because
he's one of our favorite people too. That's Dale's best friend, by the way.
But he's been consistent. Him and Huber have been consistent since like 09 or 08 or whenever they got there. They got there before I did. So the fact that they're still there is a huge testament to the people they are, not just the players they are. So, but yeah, I think the NFL did it to themselves because when they went to 17 games, it took that fourth preseason game away. Well, the third preseason game was always kind of that, primer game that you used. And the problem now is which game do you use? Do you use the second game? Do you use the last game? I think Pittsburgh and Detroit if you look at what they did, I think they played their starters for the first half.
Right.
And you see Pittsburgh came out a lot better probably than the Bengals did. Now,
the defense did. Their offense still sucks.
Yeah, but that's personnel.
They don't have any talent on there. Right.
And but if you look at Detroit, I mean, should Detroit have any business playing with Philly? Probably not. But they were a missed whatever intentional grounding call probably away from winning that game. So. And, Detroit's talent wise is getting better, but I mean, they're nothing to write home about either. But I think it goes to college too. Because
wasn't there a mass separation at the beginning to like halfway through, like Philly really took off and then Detroit randomly started coming up.
Yep.
I didn't see any of that game, but I saw the big massive comeback and I'm like, what the hell is Philadelphia doing?
Detroit did that last year, I think in week one, because they were supposed to get beat by the spread was something big. And then they came back and almost won the game and everybody's mad because they, the spread, but just y'all get ready. Y'all are all in Ohio, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm in Louisiana and just just wait till sports betting becomes legal in Ohio and listen to all your friends that live around you. It becomes an entirely different deal. Now it's not who's going to win the game. It's, man, hey, listen, there's a 6.5 point spread. What do you think?
Right.
Come on, bro. You like,
I can't wait. I can't wait for it. I've been waiting for years for this. Since I became 21, I was like, yeah, as soon as this is legal, all my paychecks every week are going straight.
But to answer your question about the not playing, down here at LSU, I was with Coach O during training camp last year before I got hired with the Jaguars.
Go Tigers!
And
Go Tigers!
Go Tigers! And he believed in. He's hard nosed, obviously. Like, he believed in practicing, and like during camp, we practiced. We got after. We ran freaking stadiums all summer long. When I tell you we ran stadiums, we were running Tiger Stadium, not some little stadium. And if y'all go look at Tiger Stadium, the one end zone that's the horseshoe that doesn't have a second deck on it. We had everybody running that, and they would run 12 of them, And I think we actually went up to 16 one.
I think I might die.
Friday. No, I'm just telling you, I about died just walking up there to the top so I could be up there with them. But they, so anyway, but then this year Brian Kelly backed off of them a little bit, and you saw in the Florida State game they had the same issue. But then in the second half, they freaking roared right back into it, just like the Bengals did. And I don't think it's as big of a deal, but I think you got to plan for that. Like, if you're going to do that, then you better plan for your first half to be not necessarily as bad as what happened to the Bengals, because that'll. I mean, I'll knock on wood when I say this, but that'll never happen. I mean, that right there, I don't know what that was, but that they're not going to let that. Burrow's not going to let that happen again. I can promise you that. He'll throw balls away before he starts making some of those throws. And
he's a psychopath. He was sitting in the locker room staring at the wall. He was pissed. He's got something for Dallas this week, I think.
Well, let's go ahead and let's just get final thoughts on this game before we move on to talk about Dallas. So we'll start with you, Coach. Where do you think they went wrong game planning wise? Do you think we should have maybe ran the ball a little more? We tried to come out throwing too much. The line wasn't gelled yet. Do you think that was part of the problem? Just overall thoughts from that game.
Yeah, I think when you got those 5 linemen that haven't necessarily played together yet, and I'm talking about with real guys rushing them, not just in practice. I know that in practice they've rushed, or they've gone against a rush, but they also pull up when they see the orange jersey. With the Steelers, I mean, they did a lot of twist games, and that's, if you go look at a lot of the pass protection issues, it wasn't necessarily getting beat around the edge. It was more of the passing off games inside and kind of getting picked off, and the communication will get better. Frank's a great coach. I was around him for a year in 2018. I watched him take a highly mediocre line and turn them into something that we could at least go play with. And I think Joe was fourth in the league and led the AFC in rushing that year too, behind that line. So he can do things with these guys once they gel, and they're all veterans. That's the other thing too. They're all veteran guys. They know how to practice. They know how to prepare. They'll pull the rookie along with them. Because even Jonah Williams, how long has he been around for? Is this his third season or second?
Third season.
Third season. So he's been around.
No, it
might be his fourth. Yeah.
Fourth, yeah, because I keep forgetting his rookie year.
He's going to go into that where they're going to have to pick up his option, right? Or did they pick up his option already? I think they did.
I think they picked it up already.
But he's been there for a while. So
and
so you're talking about Volson being the only one that's really kind of he's going to be swimming for a while, and that's, you got to remember. That's his first game. I mean, he was at North Dakota State. He was playing Indiana State last year. Just think about that.
Right.
All right.
He was playing. Quentin Spain is still out there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there is a point though where you got to say, listen, Volson's going to be our guy, and you got to let him grow. And I think they got 2 good games to do that, because Dallas right now is not the Dallas that that gets to the first round and loses. They're not hitting the stride right now. And then the Jets their head coach is taking receipts or whatever he's talking about out there. So, they got a couple games where I think they can kind of get their stuff together. And then they got Miami. That'll be the big test for this group. And if you can get through the next 2 games with wins and keep Burrow upright enough to where you can go into that Miami game now with 3 full games under your belt with this group, they will get better. And again, I think they're going to, game plan wise, it's hard for me to say that. I'm not a big fan of just always chunking it. I was a running back coach and an O-line coach, so I kind of like to run it too. But Joe, I think he averaged 2 yards a carry or something when it was all said and done, and he had one big run. So if you take that big run out there, whatever it was, I think there's they got to still stay with him because Joe Mixon can make this offense run. They can make the team run, and not just literally run, but he can get them juiced up. And I think once he gets juiced up, that juices up those dudes in front of him and takes pressure off of Burrow. And everybody knows that, but you got to do it. And obviously you can't. The turnovers, some of the like that first interception, I don't know if he was pressing that in there too hard, but that's one of those ones where you look at and you go, you probably could have just thrown it to the underneath guy and gone, gotten out of that down and moved on. But he had just gotten sacked, and he was probably pissed off that he got sacked on the first play of the season. So there's a lot of things that are probably going through his head at that point,
Right.
And.
So,
But no.
Coach, do you think they should have played the O-line, since we have basically a whole new offensive line except for one guy, Jonah Williams, but he's working with 4 other new guys? Do you think they should have played them at least a series or 2? Would that have made a difference, you think, as far as continuity goes?
Yes, it does, and I know a lot of coaches would have played them, and that you're you could sacrifice an injury if you do that, which is something, but at the same time, maybe you don't, and. I know a lot of teams played, especially young guys. A lot of teams played their young guys a lot in the preseason this year. I noticed that around the league, and Zach has a mission to keep those guys healthy, and I respect that. I've been in a season where you go in and all of a sudden, you're missing half your team by like week 4, and that's not fun to know. By week 4, you're kind of like hopeless because you've lost all your players. And so, keeping those guys out there, especially with Joe Burrow, and I get his deal's a little different. Him not playing.
That's fine.
He had an appendectomy.
I don't want Joe to play, to be honest.
I was going to say, I think that could have been a little bit of it with the line. Also, Collins was dinged up most of camp or not there for one reason or another. Kappa was coming off an injury to start camp. So, maybe that's a little more why they didn't even try to put him out there, is because the whole right side was kind of dinged up. So
I don't mean to cut you guys off because this is a great conversation, but I do have to immediately shut this real quick because King Cam just put something in the comments that I want to put a massive light to.
Yes.
Super big support of the podcast and an absolute stellar dude. Just put in here, tomorrow he is finding out if his brain tumor is gone. So everybody, regardless of your religion or how you go about it, keep your thoughts and prayers for this man. Great fucking kid, man. Absolute stud. And
I love Cameron.
Everything is fucking solid for Cam because dude loves football, loves Bengals football, and honestly deserves the best. So I saw that and I was like, I have to cut this off completely real quick just to spotlight on Cam real quick.
We love you, Cam. We love you, Cam.
Exactly.
Cam, I don't know you, but I love you too, brother. Hey, sir.
He's a great dude.
He's had 3 brain surgeries. One when he was a baby. He just graduated high school last year. He's his sister and my daughter are friends. So I'm fortunate enough to call him my friend. And a really good kid.
Definitely.
Just praying for you here. I promise you that.
Say again. I'm sorry.
Praying for you here, Cam. You got our prayers.
Exactly. I got to meet him at one of the preseason games. Dale gave him his tickets. So
Derek gave him.
Derek gave him one of those tickets, and I got to sit next to him or right in front of him. He was a great kid, and I got to meet his dad. Awesome people. Awesome.
For sure. Iceman, Kyle, do you have any other things you have to say about last week or anything else that you?
I did want to
vocalize.
I wanted to address a comment that came across the bottom a minute ago. I think it was Scentsy James or something said, I'm throwing up for the players right now. I mean, listen, I'm sorry they had to look at me like that, bro. I mean, are you talking about the players having to look at me and listen to me? Is that what you're talking about?
No, he was talking about the running. He was talking about the snaps you guys are having them run.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, I've lost a little weight actually since I was there.
So you're looking good, Kyle. You gave it to me, but I'll take it for you for a while. Okay.
Dale said it because I'm usually the one complimenting people left and right about their looks. We got our attractive guest on.
We do have attractive guests. Well, I help that. That's what I'm here for, to make everybody else look a little.
You do look like my family. So.
Well, is that since you're down in New Orleans? Is that family or is that like Brian Kelly's family? I'm just curious.
Well, no, that was so bad, by the way.
I know, dude.
That was so bad. I got. She just sent me 3 pictures here.
Oh no!
You gotta throw them up. You gotta throw them up now.
Oh no!
Hold on.
Hell yeah! Oh yeah, that's your doppelganger. Oh yeah, that's your long lost brother, dude.
Dude,
I can see it.
Dude, if you get a purple curve bill hat on, that kind of looks like.
Oh yeah.
Does this mean I'm invited to the cookout?
Come on down. Let's go. Hey, I'll tell you what, he did a crawfish boil for us over the summer.
I was about to say it's definitely got to be the crawfish boil, not a cookout. It's got to
be. He did the whole thing where
I'm so plain. I probably couldn't handle a crawfish boil.
So these crawfish, they're all alive and they're the kids are playing with them and stuff. So the kids are naming these crawfish.
No, don't do that.
So then they get thrown in. No, I can't remember what. One of them's name was Jamal. That's the only thing I remember. But they threw all these, crawfish in the boil. So, it boils up and everything. So they all die, obviously. So, and they purge and all that stuff. It's a weird process. But so my nephew, my brother-in-law's son, he finds that one and he starts walking around with it still like he's playing with it. I'm like, dude, that thing's dead. And then he just like cracks it and eats it. I'm like,
I've never had crawfish in my entire life. Full disclosure, I don't know. I don't know if I can eat those or not. I'm not sure.
I don't eat it either. I'll be honest with you. I don't. I'll play with them, but I don't.
Yeah.
I do not eat it. I don't like.
Kids. You're like one of the kids.
Yeah, he's naming a couple of them.
Right.
I'm just like the smell of it. It smells good when you've got all the spices and the Tonys on it and stuff like that. But I just can't do. I can't do
Dude, I'm not
texture or something. I don't know.
I'm not a fish guy in general. That's my problem. I'm like,
all right. So Derek, who's supposed to be at work, but here's what he does: he's at work, but he don't come on the show, but he comments the whole show. So he says
he's very productive.
Alexandra, so somewhere down Louisiana, somewhere.
That's kind of it's in the middle-ish. It's off of I-49. It's we pass through there when I go to my mom's house. That's in Northeast Texas. So
I thought this might be a good segue here to talk about your wife and talk about where she's from and who she roots for and things like that.
Well, she is from Start, Louisiana. So there is I see you. So she's from Start, Louisiana. All right. There is a really famous person from Start, Louisiana. Not all of you might like him. Not all of you might appreciate him, but there is a very it's not Donald Trump, I promise you that. But it is Tim McGraw is from her hometown of Start, Louisiana.
Everybody loves Tim McGraw.
We like Tim. We like Tim.
So Tim McGraw's from there. He has like a sports facility. He used to do a thing called Swamp Stock there and through a concert there. Then he stopped doing it because I think he had a falling out with somebody back there. But but he's from there. And then she went to ULM, to Louisiana Monroe, and I was a graduate assistant there, so I met her at a noontime Bible study with the team chaplain had invited us to. She didn't like me because I was wearing khakis, a polo, and white tennis shoes.
You weren't ready for that. You weren't
like every other coach wears on a Wednesday, by the way.
True.
And this is in the off season, so I'm wearing freaking coaching gear. All right, get over it. And we went to a Blockbuster. You remember those?
Yeah. I remember them. Yeah.
Hey, for y'all young guys, Cam's age, those 18, 19
Travis is 25.
I'm 25 and don't even test me, man. Blockbuster was the shit. Don't even.
I even had the Netflix mail account where they mailed you the DVDs.
Yes, I had that too, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So, but anyway, buddy of mine called her, and she thought she was thinking I was calling to talk to her friend, and I was like, no. So anyway, ended up taking her to a movie a couple weeks later at the end of that week. And I'm that good of a recruiter. I made it work. And
are you seeing you outkicked your coverage? Is that
way? It wasn't even like this was one of those ones where, did y'all see Justin Reed kick that kickoff through the goalpost?
Yes.
Yeah, that was me because I had no business doing it and I still did it. And
boom, baby. Hey, that's a total clutch right there. Come on.
So, but
all right, hold on. I gotta throw this up.
I got you.
Take a drink. We got to take a drink.
But to answer your question, I'll show it to you and take my drink. She pulls for that most of the time, or at least used to. Now, the funny thing was, okay, so.
Well, she's got to root for her husband first and foremost.
Well, she does. Right? So we played the Saints, I want to say, in 2012 or something, and we lost at the end of the game in Cincinnati, and her mom had come up to the game. And I don't know if y'all have ever been with the family after the game, but it's down in that production truck area by the security office down there. And so we go down there. I'm getting them out of the bullpen down there, and her mom gives me a hug, and she goes, "I'm so sorry y'all lost, but I'm so happy the Saints won."
Hey, at least she was honest.
I mean, I looked at my wife. I said, "I'm going to kill her."
No, you said it like under your breath even more.
No, I did. I was like, but no, even she came around it. And it is you, but you hit on the head though. Like she doesn't really pull for the Saints anymore because like we've seen the other side of it now, and we've seen. I've been on 3 teams now, so people always ask me who's my favorite team. It's hard.
Whoever is writing those checks is what I'd say.
100%, 100% got it. Now, I will say this: I have more friends. I probably have more friends in my life right now, actually in Cincinnati, than I do at any other city.
That's
so
Cincinnati's awesome, dude.
And I mean, I lived there longer than I've lived anywhere else in my life. I lived in College Station for 5.5 while I was in school, and I was at where I went to high school in Dangerfield, Texas. I was there for 7 years. So. I mean,
all right. So, what's some of your favorite Scentsy spots then? Since you lived here so long, that could be bars, that could be places to eat, that could be any parks.
I gotta throw it out there because it is easily my favorite place is Holy Grail.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
Shout out Holy Grail. You want to, you want to have the man in for something? Okay.
Holy Grail. Who's selling the Jackpot Joey beer too? There, just saying. Sorry. I throw that out there.
And then I found out about. I'm a big Mad Tree and Ryan Geist fan.
Yes.
But I found out about Mad Tree. I was at Tin Roof after a game one day before they even opened. And there's a guy named Kenny McNutt. All right. He's a guy that was one of the starters of Mad Tree. And he had an A&M hat on in Tin Roof in Cincy. And
you fell in love instantly.
I did. I walked over. I was like, gig him, whatever. And I said, it always comes back to what do you do? So I said, I just coached in the game, whatever. And he goes, oh, yeah, we're starting a brewery. I'm like, that's cool, man. Next thing I know, Mad Tree's like what it is now. So, and then, obviously, Ryan, I like the rooftop at Ryan Guys. I don't know if is it still there? They still got the rooftop?
Yeah, it's still there. I've never been there, but yeah, it's still there.
I like that, and the OTR area when I was leaving was starting to clean up. And then I saw they've had some issues down there recently. So I'm assuming that it's still cool to go down there and and then I lived over kind of in the direction of Precinct. So that would be like where we would go. We didn't really go to Jeff Ruby's downtown, but we went to the Precinct down.
And even as a coach, that was half a paycheck.
You're not lying. That's why I said it had to be it was a preseason date or a playoff date,
special occasion.
It was or a birthday or something.
Anniversary.
Why do most Bengal coaches and players live that direction? Is it just easier to get to the stadium? Because I know Burrow lives that way, Chase lives that way. You live there. I'm like, why is that?
I really liked living in that Mount Lookout area.
Yeah. It's a cool area.
You could get to a lot of places really easily, like Mount Lookout Tavern.
Yeah,
was now. Again, I don't mean this in a bad way. It's endearing. It was, Mount Lookout Tavern for a long time was kind of a dump, and you go in there, it's a dive bar, but that's what I liked. That's what I liked about it. And they had live.
Me too, brother. Me too.
And they had live music for the longest time, and then they just stopped doing the live music. And we could walk there. So this was before we had kids. I mean, we didn't have kids till 2017. So, I mean, we had 7 years of living there before we had kids, and I mean,
it's a good time.
We were married 11 years before that. We've been married 16 and a half now. So, it's been, we go down there. They had a little place.
That reminds me. I got to think how long I've been married. I know it's coming up.
They had a place down there. I know you guys have probably been there. Zips. Have y'all been to Zips? The hamburger joint down there?
I'm 2 hours away.
I've heard of dude, I'm on the west side. I'm the exact opposite. Yeah. Like literally, if you take 50 from where you live straight across past stadiums, I'm on the other side. That's where I'm. But I've heard of Zips. I've been to Mount Lookout Tavern. I've been to the precincts, but I don't know. I've heard.
Kyle, you and your wife have been married almost as long as me and my wife. We're going to be 17 years. Oh shit! I should have thought of that before. October 8th of this year, 17 years.
What year? So that was 2005.
Yes, 2005.
Well, that guy right there, he just got married a little while ago.
I did. My 1 year is coming.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot to try to remember the date.
Now hold on. Was that part of the reason to get married is to cut your balls off?
Negative.
I'll only marry you if you won't put a seed in me.
I mean, usually they do cut your balls off, but I didn't know literally that was what you had to do.
Literally, he got denutted.
You want me to be honest? There's nothing better. There's no better feeling than the feeling that I can have in a couple months. So I definitely, I don't want no children, and I ain't trying to play that game of what if my whole life. So you know what? We got to go full blown to this. Get a couple days of soreness just to have.
You had a scare. At least I had a scare for you when you sent me a positive test, but it was a COVID test. No, I was like, "Was that a pregnancy test?"
There was a scare. There was a scare like a month ago too, and I was like, "I'm so close. I'm so close."
Do you already have a kid?
No, we don't want to. We're gonna, if anything, we're gonna adopt teenagers because they don't get picked up from the system much. So we wanted to, instead of do the whole puking, sleeping, not being able to sleep at night stuff. We're just like, all right.
Hey, speaking of adopting, my sister had one kid and had some issues, and so hey, Cam.
Hey, so
she adopted 2 kids. She adopted.
There you go.
One of the things my wife and I tried to, this was happening whenever I got let go on Scentsy, and we ended up moving to Detroit, so kind of screwed up the process. But Kayla had already finished all the foster care classes, and I was like 3/4 of the way through because the season obviously was there, and I just couldn't get to the one she was getting to, and. We were in that process to where we were almost to the point of doing like the home visits, and then we were going to look to bring in somebody, an older kid that maybe got lost in the system, and that was our goal, not to bring in a baby. We had 2 of those at the time, so we were like, we looked to, or we had one up put this way, we had one and had one on the way when I got let go, and then we ended up having another one this last year. That's why, hence I'm getting cut off.
You need to take care of
dude, be a part of the PGC, the basketball crew.
42 years old with a newborn this past year. So I'm 43 with a 10-month-old right now. So
good luck, brother. That's all I gotta say. I'm 47 and my kids are about out, so I'm good.
There's no empty nesting coming anytime soon for me.
Hey, I'm turning 38 Saturday. Mine are 6. I have 2 girls. That's why I didn't have no more. 16 and 12. I was like, nope. I just shoot girls. I'm done.
I got a boy who keeps commenting on the show. He's Catpole, and he's married and out the house, and my daughter's 18. So, shout out to any of you guys who have girls. It's a whole different thing when you have a girl compared to a boy. Shit, I know. You got 2 of them. So
I got 3.
Dude.
I got all boys.
There you go.
So
congratulations for you. Good for you. Good for you, Kyle.
That's nothing to do with me. I would like, I deserved all girls, but like, the problem is my wife's such a good person that
she trumped all that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like that person that does nothing in the class project but actually gets an A.
Hell yeah, that's Kyle right there. I love Kyle.
That's a great analogy. I love that.
Hey, I see. Hey, real quick, I had the comments going. There's a guy, Michael Kays, that just posted in the comments. That's one of my guys. I told you right there. Just shut up. So Kays was the IT guy for the Bengals for a while.
Oh no shit!
Cool. Nice. Michael, you're sick, dude. Hell yeah.
Michael, the A&M one's the only one that fits my head. These other ones don't fit anything.
Dalton's in too.
Hey, and Kyle, you see any comments? We can put them up. Like we can pull them up on the.
Yeah, no, I just saw his name pop up over there. I was like, all right, I did see it.
7.
I did see another one. Now Michael Kays has a little girl, and for those of y'all that don't know him, he has better looking hair than any girl that we know. And it's down to about his shoulders.
Why would you hide that with just an M right now?
And so he's He is Asian, so he's a Korean, and
he needs to text you a picture of his hair and so we can see it.
His license plate is AMZN Amazing Asian.
Yeah, I love it.
Sorry, Michael. Awesome. Michael, I just gave your license plate.
Yeah, wow. That was not. Yeah, don't click.
He drives his car. He drives his car around with it everywhere he goes. I mean, it's not like he's hiding it. So
don't worry. Nobody watches this show anyway. Don't worry about it.
That's a good point. Good point.
But no,
Dude, so I just found him, and I just wanted to make sure, and it is 100% true.
Travis is a stalker. Just let everybody know. Travis can find you.
So here's that's him. That's him and his daughter right there. That's Michael Case.
Oh, damn! There you go. Oh, see, bitch, look at that.
Hey,
wow, he probably personally.
I literally looked up his name
on to Kyle.
Hold on. Everybody has Facebook. All you have to do is to simply search in the name, and you will find him when he says Asian guy.
Whatever makes you feel okay. Whatever makes you feel better, Travis. It's fine.
Michael, we're not judging. Restraining order. His name is Travis Brown.
All you have to do is Facebook search. I wanted to see his hair. That's all. My God.
Well, he won't have it anymore. He's deleting the profile after how weird.
Trust me. He's not deleting the profile. I mean, I went to Cabo with this guy. Trust me, he's not deleting the profile. All right.
But he's stoked, dude.
Hey Dale, can you put up Cat Pole's comment there? You say you're emotionally hurt the whole time. You're emotionally hurt the whole time after Clark Harris was hurt.
There's no E on it, by the way. Spell his name right.
Damn it! Come on, Chandler, get it right.
No, that's actually right. There's just no apostrophe in there.
No, I could see him on the sideline.
Dude, I told you.
There. He was dejected. He got up off the bench and he was like,
"Oh, he's pissed." I told you when he got hurt. I looked at Chandler first and said, "Clark's hurt." And I turned around and go, "I smacked you like, dude, Clark's hurt." What? I'm like, and he's walking off with his arm like this.
I turned around, looked at Derek, and said, "This game will come down to that."
Yep, and
it was the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Twice.
Came down to it twice.
I didn't know it would be twice.
To let everybody know, when it comes on the Sunday football games, if it is a home game, I am running the Twitter on there, tweeting out my personal thoughts.
100,000 tweets it was, I do believe, on Sunday. Dude. It was just a live
honestly,
emotion.
It was really nice because, like, all year last year, I was just screaming and losing my mind the whole time.
No one, just to himself.
Yeah, to no one. And then instead, now I get the level. I'm like, instead of losing my voice and going crazy because I just got over COVID, I was texting. I was just like, "Son of a bitch, what the hell?" I was like, "What was that snap? Oh my God!" And then I'm like, "Oh God, send." There we go. I feel better.
All right, Coach, you got any great stories like off the field? Because I think I remember you would be like at basketball games, or do you ever go to any UFC events with some of the guys? Like I feel like you were young enough to be one of the guys when you were in Cincinnati.
So probably one of the best stories off the field was, and don't judge me for the first part of the you remember, they may still do it up there at the casino. They had that outdoor stage, and they'd have concerts on the outdoor stage, kind of out in front of it, at the casino there. And Kesha was playing. So
I was going to say Katy Perry.
No, I went to Kesha. It's about it. That might be worse. And I've never in my life seen more glitter. Girls were like, there was glitter in the trash cans.
Just you had that much glitter on.
How much glitter did you have on?
It was all over me after that night. But I'm just but no, these girls were like going in these trash cans. Like girls were taking glitter and pouring glitter over their hair into the trash cans, and then the girl behind them would come to the trash can that, by the way, has got trash in it too, taking the glitter that didn't stick in their hair and throwing it in their hair. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? And then they're all like, tick tock, I'm like, all that. So I'm like,
tick tock,
yeah. But anyway,
I don't know what song you're talking about.
You knew the words to it, Dale.
Shut up! You shut up,
dude. That was a fucking banger back in the day. Don't you dare try and regret.
So they all woke up feeling like P. Diddy, all right? And so anyway, so we left there, and that night, Michael Johnson, the DN, not the sprinter, was having a fundraiser at Oh man, I'm kicking myself in the head for this one. What was the place? Do y'all know much about the downtown bars down there anymore?
Jeff probably
It was a 3-story. It was a 3-story bar that was fairly new. It was next to Soto and all that. Anyway,
so we were to get it out of the house to go to games, Kyle.
Yeah,
that's my life.
I got you.
3 women, you know.
So my wife and I we go over there and all the players on the second floor, and this is in the off season, so like they're just getting it, you know. I mean, I'll walk up. Jermaine Gresham's still on the team, so that's whenever this was. All right, so Gresh walks up to me and gives me a shot of tequila. Pac-Man walks up to me with a tray full of tequila, and so
he goes big.
And then Wallace Gilberry comes over with something.
I love Wallace as a player.
And Orson Charles was there, so he comes over with something else. And we ended up going over to Scene. And put it this way, Wallace Gilberry like threw me into a taxi with my wife that night. So, but you know, we had fun. And here's a crazy thing.
Even though I don't remember it, I do believe it was fun.
They respected the hell out of me because I came out there and supported them for one. Yeah. But I held my own as long as I could. But you got, I couldn't hold it like they did. Now they had some of those.
They were in their prime, you know.
Yeah, they might be a little bigger too. They can absorb more stuff.
Yeah, but that's we had fun with that. I'd say, a lot of the other things, like we used to go to Riverbend all the time and go to country concerts, and we get those. So when Toby Keith and his
Red Solo Cup
and his manager.
Is it red, white, and blue? Oh.
So his manager Kirby was friends with Marvin. I don't know how they became friends. Marvin, was friends with Darius with Hootie. Yeah, Darius Rucker. And so anyway, but we would go when Toby Keith would play. We'd get backstage passes and go actually watch the concert from back there and hang out and get to go on the bus. I mean, we were acting like groupies, which was kind of fun, but. That was the fun part. We actually met a bunch of people. Some like Michael Kayes, he'll tell you he's made connections with a lot of people in Nashville within the country music stuff just because of the stuff we were doing at Riverbend. And it's pretty cool. Like you get to meet people like that, and if you do it right, and if you take advantage of the situation, you can meet people that are, that are connected in other industries, other places too. That can help you out. You help them out, and. I think the one on the field incident I had was I don't want to say I tried to fight him, but I bum rushed Vontez Burfict during practice one time because he tackled Gio Bernard after his knee surgery.
He would get a little aggressive in practice. We all seen the videos.
And I was lucky the entire offense had my back because and then I had all these guys after, like some of the media guys asking me after practice, did you know who you were going after? I'm like, yeah, I knew who I was going after. They're like, are you crazy? I was like, I wasn't that
maybe.
You black out, you're defending your guys. Like,
so how not to bring it back to what we first started talking about, but how close were you to going after Joey Porter in that 2015 playoff game? Because I was ready to go after that dude through the TV.
He was probably smarter than that.
Well, luckily,
should have been on the field.
Luckily for Joey Porter, I was actually in the booth that year.
Oh, okay.
So I was up there helpless.
I hate that guy.
I was up there helpless.
I don't say hate very much. I hate that guy. I cannot stand him at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I mean, you got to remember Pittsburgh they've had a stretch where that cockiness was warranted. I mean, they were good, and I think there's a point where it went a little out of hand, and I think some of our guys didn't do the right thing either. But I mean. That whole thing, I can't. I mean that game.
But then, it makes me sick to even think about the game because so many things and so many people go back to like Pac-Man and Burfict in that game and it's like no man.
If Jeremy, sorry, Coach. If Jeremy hangs on to the ball,
if Jeremy goes down like Coach Todd, and if he hits the ground,
God.
But also
love you, Coach.
But like Joey Porter should have been flagged on that play, not Pac-Man. He should have been flagged because the coach is not allowed to come field, and he's not even a head coach.
No.
So that actually technically that got changed because of that, and also in that same game, and in the same game,
Reggie Nelson got his hair pulled.
Well,
yes,
no,
by another coach.
Oh my God, I'll never forget watching that as a young man, just sitting there.
There's so many, Coach. What were you going with?
So
Coach?
Gio got knocked out. You remember that?
Shazier.
By Shazier. So that changed. That rule changed because of he was catching the ball and he was still turning. He didn't have he wasn't planted yet, so you can't you can't lead on him the way he hit him. So that changed. So there's actually that and the coach's rule that changed after that game. And I mean a lot of things happened there. And honestly, if Gio would have been up and going, who knows? I mean, with the rotation and everything, he could have been in there with that for that last play.
He had been coming in to finish out games because his ball security was better. I don't speak for you. You were the damn running back coach, but
I'll tell you this: that a lot of those decisions were not position coach decisions. Those are offensive coordinator, head coach decisions. Because there's times where
they take it out of your hands and they just
and that's that they can do that, and I don't that doesn't bother me, and it does it put it this way. It doesn't bother me when it's been spoken about beforehand, so I can during the week I can make sure the guys understand. Hey, listen, here's how the rotation's working, but then I've seen it hadn't happened to me as much, but I've seen it with other position groups over time where guys are like, I just lost that guy for the rest of the year because you pulled him out for somebody else, and it's just, but I didn't get a chance to warn him because a lot of times you can warn these guys, and as long as you're honest with them, they're fine. They don't care. I mean, they care, but they're at least you're honest. Better. Yeah, they can handle honesty. They don't like being either lied to or felt manipulated. And I think that's one of the biggest things. Like when I came into coaching with Scentsy, I was 31 years old, and Whit was like 30, and I was working with the O-line, and I remember asking Whit one day, I said, Whit,
I missed that we didn't let him go.
And I said, Whit, what? I said, why would you listen to me? And he goes, well, how can you help me? And we talked, and he said, dude, as long as you can help me, as long as you're giving me something on a weekly basis that makes me better, then I'm fine. As a coach, that's all they want. They just want something from their coach that on Sunday they won't be embarrassed because you didn't have them prepared for something. They just want to make sure that you're prepared for what you're going to see. And if something happens in the game, that you have the ability to adjust and fix it during the game. And I think that's where a lot of guys lose players, and it's not just the NFL level; it's any level. Is that they'll coach them and try to tell them something like a kid will ask a question and they'll just answer it, not knowing the answer. Well, I that's not the way I coach. If I didn't know the answer, I would tell you one of two things. I'm going to go ask right now, and I'd go ask the coordinator, or, hey, listen, let's get to this meeting, put that on the side, write it on the board, and I'll have this answer to you before we hit the practice field today.
Hey, Coach, that's how I teach in my daily life. When you act like you know everything, it's going to turn people off, no matter whether it's a kid or a grown-ass man in the NFL. You can't just be like, I know everything. Let me just lie to you. No, let me give you the best answer I can. I do need to answer one question because it's come up twice on the comments, and we were talking the whole time. Anytime you meet Slash from Guns N' Roses, yes, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, baby.
That's so bad. I saw the comment and I was like, oh my God, I want to.
You know who else I met is, and golly, I can't even think. The show The League? Did y'all watch that? The fantasy?
Yes,
so
I love The League.
What was the goofy brother's name, or the goofy guy's name?
The bald guy would always wear the hats.
No, not the bald guy. The one guy. Oh my gosh, I am losing my mind.
Was that
y'all know? Y'all will know.
Wear the purple costume. The purple costume.
Was that an HBO? I know. I've heard
this was
it was on the FX back in the day.
Yes. Okay.
It was Taco. It was a guy Taco.
There you
go.
So my wife and I got to go to the Super Bowl, and for that 15 season, we got tickets and because we got the access to tickets as coaches, so we went ahead and paid for them and went to the Super Bowl that year because I'd never been and still haven't been, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Bengals fans. But we were walking through this like pregame tailgate thing, and I'm just like walking along, and I literally just stopped and went, "You're Taco." My wife's like petrified. Like, she's standing there like, "Oh my God." And so I'm like, "Taco." He's like, yeah, what's up, brother? So I took a picture with him. I was just
I
like,
would have.
I totally would have done it.
because it was like I was in the middle of like watching the show at the time, so it was
Right,
like one of those things where I was actually kind of, it was fresh in my mind, and then I come to find out he actually like he has some rap songs. Look him up.
Okay, all right.
His name is John LaJoy. I'm looking him up right now. His songs, golly, it actually is it's a really funny song. But let me see here. It's why can't I find it now?
Travis, what were you looking up? You acted like you had some exciting stuff going on.
Oh, right there.
I think I'm going to get a beer.
No, I got to be 100% honest with you. I was
your balls. Were you checking your balls out?
I was adjusting myself. I wanted to get off camera to be polite, but you had to just completely call me out there because I know you.
No, I thought you were looking up something. You were taking like a selfie. I was like,
there's
all right.
There's two songs. There's two songs. I'm not going to sing them because I'm trying to keep a halfway decent persona here.
Someone give this man a job. Give him a job. Big job.
Look up Everyday Normal Guy and Everyday Normal Guy 2.
Okay.
All right. By John LaJoy. JONLAJOIE. It's like a weird spelling, but
same title. Just add a 2.
It just added 2. So can y'all hear that? So it's this. I just hear the first it's this dude just starts talking.
I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. Nothing special about me, motherfucker.
You gotta look it up. Yeah, you gotta look.
That was the teaser.
But it's funny because it's Taco from that show.
Right.
You're like, the hell, this dude's got an album out, like,
Well, it's like what was the guy back in the day on American Idol who was an awful singer? I can't remember.
William Hung, man.
Yes, Hung. Yeah, he had an album come out.
He moves.
I'm like, really?
Yes, Mike Brown is a human. Okay, everybody, get off of Mike Brown. Okay, listen, Mike Brown.
Jeff,
Mike Brown's one of the greatest people you'll meet, and y'all can say what you want in Cincinnati. I saw him on a different level. I'm just telling you right now, Mike Brown is a good guy. He's taken a lot of heat. I get it, but go to last year.
Well,
all right,
I'll
might have taken a little longer. But look at last year.
Look,
hey,
Kyle's
preaching right there, though. Kyle's really preaching there because you saw a tide turn with him.
Yeah,
most certainly. You finally saw.
He hasn't done that the whole time, and he got fired up with Mike Brown. So that should show everyone how he's being serious.
I'll take coaches back. Like, look, Mike Brown.
Shut up, Jeff. You didn't work with him.
Went through the whole.
He went through
the whole 90s.
Yeah, I'll take his back. I was there on a day-to-day
Never
basis.
did one thing that Phil Castellini did in one damn year where he attacked the fans and attacked everybody else. Mike Brown never did that. So I'm with you, Kyle. I totally believe you that
I respect nothing more than Jeff standing his ground while me and Dale immediately were like,
yeah, I know. I'm like, you guys wouldn't shut the hell. I had a good point. You guys kept talking. I'm like,
listen, we don't have to agree all the time, and that's the problem in this world right now. Is everybody's so sensitive about stuff. So you don't have to agree with everything. I promise you, y'all got some stuff y'all think that I don't like Miller Lite, to be honest with you, and I know you're drinking a Miller Lite. I don't like it. It has a bad aftertaste.
I think Bud Light squirrel piss, but hey, I ain't gonna fucking be mad that you're drinking it.
Kyle, I gotta hook you up with this when you come.
What about Miller High Life, Kyle?
I don't know the last time I've had Miller High Life. Is that the champagne of beers?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. I don't mind that, but Miller Lite has a weird aftertaste. So
fuck you, Travis.
That's my guy. Kyle,
now I told you I'm drinking a stank beer right now. So
well, look,
you had that voodoo one though.
Yeah, I have a very good one for you. When
I already drank it. It's gone.
I have a very good one. If I ever get to beach, I'll give you one of these. It's a good beer.
This is how classy I am.
Hey, listen. Here's a drink to do, okay? And this is for anybody that's trying to kind of not put too many calories in your body. All right.
We don't worry about that here.
Okay, I know you don't. Okay, but this is for anybody listening. All right, over there, Jeff Ralston that says, I don't like the taste of beer either. Well, Jeff, I got something for you. All right, listen, get a shaker bottle like you're going to go work out, like that has the little thing inside of it, put some ice in it. If your shaker bottle is this big, fill it to about here with vodka. All right, fill the rest with water and then spray those Kool-Aid squirts in there.
Oh, yeah.
Done.
That's a move. That's 100% a move.
And the cool thing is you can take that to the park with your kids and everybody just thinks you're just drinking water. Yeah.
Dude, that's a flex right there. Come on, that's a flex.
We're not doing the flex again, Jeff. Forget it once.
That's not even a subtle flex. That's just
a life hack, bro. That's a life hack.
Bam.
But cool. No, it tastes good. That's the thing. Like I'm not a big hard liquor. Like people go on the bourbon trail and they sip bourbon and things, and I respect the hell out of people that do that.
Matt's not in here anymore. You fucking pussy, Matt.
I can't just enjoy that. I just don't enjoy it. But when I did the vodka Kool-Aid thing, I was like, you know what? I'm hydrating, and now I might be dehydrating too, but I'm hydrating. So
it's balancing.
It's a balancing act.
Life is balance, right?
Yeah. There's a buddy of mine when we were younger. He loved Sprite and vodka because it freaking tastes like Sprite, and he can just drink it all day long. And
isn't that like one of the sweetest things you'd ever drink right there?
Yeah, and he liked it. Like I personally like it.
Hey, my buddy back in the day was super healthy. He liked crack, and he liked fucking hookers. So like what?
So when I was in Michigan, the weed was legal up there, and
yeah, I know that.
And it was amazing to me that it actually became like drugs, like weed, like became not as big of a deal because it wasn't that big. Like anybody can get it now. You just gotta be, 21 years old. And it's like,
right.
Now, when you're getting it illegally, it's a big deal. Oh man, I got, and it's like everybody up there. And, I'll be honest with you, I don't do it because I'm always scared I'm going to get a job and get drug tested. So I'm just like,
right.
That's the
I don't do it. But at the same time, like if you want to do it, be safe with it, just like you do when you drink. And
anything, yeah.
And these people up there, it just became like, oh yeah, man, I got my gummies at night, and that's how I go to sleep at night. And and it's legal. Like it's not like it is what it is. And
look at the smile on Travis's face. Look at that big smile.
No. I only say that because the comment that he made, because it's kind of like when you restrict it for so long, people want to do it more and more.
Right.
Right. It's like the prohibition era. It's like anything else.
Exactly.
But as soon as you let the guard down, you're like, okay, here you go. It's like letting the parents let the kids drink. Some of them may drink a little bit and get that experience in them, but then they're going to be educated in that besides just being like, here you go, have fun. And it's like, holy crap, let's do it. Now that you finally are able to do it, you can finally decide like, okay, when can I do it? When do I want to do it? I just be like, all right, let's take it at a time so I can still be a normal adult.
Sure.
I'm going to be a 38-year-old man. And it's like, when I was a kid, the more my parents would say, don't do this or don't do that, the more I wanted to do it.
You know what's weird is Kayla's brother, I think, is 38. Y'all might be twins. Like you might be.
It's getting really uncomfortable. I'm gonna be honest.
You might actually be like a long lost Epinet. There may be something out there. You need to look up the name Epinet and see if you have any Epinet in your DNA tree.
I haven't yet, but I might later tonight. Too
All right. So that's a long drive for you, but she's a Caskey now, so that's that. She doesn't have a sister, so it's only gonna be a brother you're getting. So. Is that too much?
You take what you can get, Kyle.
Hey. All right, Kyle, I want to bring it back to some football talk here, where you talk about the hits in the 2015 playoff game. Now rolling into Sunday's
shut
game.
up. We're trying to end this one.
Oh, we are?
You're going to have him on your show next Friday, right?
I think so.
Hey, ask it because you know what? He had the balls to tell you to be quiet. So. Right, and the guy without balls left, so
exactly
we had to have somebody.
All right, real quick. So
all the hits, balls again, I do believe. So
real quick, the hit that T. Higgins took, all the shots that Mika Fitzpatrick was taking on the Bengals. Lots of those Bengals fans think it should be a head-to-head shot, or helmet-to-helmet shots.
Hold on. Are those your balls getting cut off again?
Yes, they got them cut off again.
So
No, sorry. I live in an old Victorian house, and sometimes that door doesn't really want to close. So
He has
my wife
ghosts in
came
his
in and
house.
had to like keep closing it, and I was like, "Oh,
all right. So you're asking if I think that was a legal hit or not? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Fuck no.
So the way it went down, it probably should have been called. I would say that I don't think any of them were like. Now I say this as a non-Bengal guy now, or I have no dog in this fight, but
Right.
Right.
The way T Higgins was getting hit and kind of got hit into the guy, I think it caused it to look a lot worse than it was. But again, the rules are meant to be there for what happens, not for their did they mean to do it or not.
Right. It's not for the intent, it's for the action.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Mickey
So
didn't care. Like, we were at the stadium. He goes, come on. Yeah,
He
when
didn't
everybody
give
saw the
two shits.
replay and that he hit him in the head and knocked him out on his dad's birthday, who just passed away. Fuck you, Mickey.
he's the next version of that guy, that everybody's going to hate.
Joey Porter.
Joey Porter. I don't know if anybody did Bengal fans ever really hate Palomalu? I don't think they did.
Not because he wasn't
really.
dirty.
I
He was
respected
dirty.
him.
He-
I respected him as
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
We
Porter
begrudgingly respected him, I feel like. Is how you
Yeah.
describe
I don't
it.
think because he's one of those guys he's on the wrong team, but you kind of
Right.
go.
Right.
I would
He's a
love
good
to
player.
have that guy on my
Yeah,
team.
exactly. Yeah.
It was like when we got James Harrison in 2013.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, you hate that guy, you hate him, and then
Right, Kyle.
he's on our team.
Everybody wiped their face and goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
damn, he's really cool." Like
It was just it wasn't the defensive scheme fit. That was the shitty part. He goes back to Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
still has another good year too.
I got so many questions to ask you about that, but we can wait that.
Well, let me answer. Crypt Keeper has a good question up there. It says, "Who's the best player I ever coached, pros or college?" If you go by actual accolades and where they're going to end up,
The chat's moving too fast. All right, we go.
I was Adrian Peterson's position coach in Detroit. So
Ooh, there you go.
if you want to talk about the best, if you want to talk about the biggest name that I've ever coached, I actually coached Adrian Peterson for a year.
There you go.
And
that's crazy.
And that was an interesting year because we got him at final cut. He got cut by Washington at the end of the fourth preseason game.
Yeah, he was supposed to be done.
Yeah, and we picked him up, and he came in, and we had Kerryon Johnson starting for us that year, and Kerryon started the first few games, and then Adrian came in and just was running wild early, and then it just kind of the season that was the 2020 season with no fans, that and Coach Matt Patricia got let go that year, and things kind of unraveled, so that year got weird, but I think I learned a lot from coaching him because you got to coach him. You coach everybody with the same standard, but you got to coach everybody differently. You know what I mean? And
right.
so I had a rookie in there, Ty Johnson, that was kind of coming up, and we ended up letting him go after week 3 because we brought Adrian in. But anyway, he learned a lot in 3 weeks from this guy. It was amazing what this kid progressed just by watching. When by the way, he doesn't go by AP, he goes by AD. All right.
AD. Yep.
All day.
All day. Yep. Exactly.
So if you call him AP,
I remember in college. I remember they call him that at Oklahoma.
If you call him AP, he corrects you. So anyway,
like his kid.
If you want to talk about the best player, and I stand by this, I really believe the best player that I've had the privilege of being a part of drafting and really knowing the guy is Joe Mixon.
I was hoping we were going to get there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So the only last thing I had on here was just
he has become the player and the person I think nobody thought he would become, except for I saw it that way after I spent time with him.
Yeah.
When we brought him in the building, that's what turned the tide, because I was the only one that had really been around him because I went to his pro day.
Can I ask something with this real quick? Were you nervous at all when you guys traded down? Because
yes.
I would have been shit my pants in your position.
Now I do know that we traded with Minnesota, so
I know
him and Zim, Marvin and Zim probably said, "Hey, who are you taking?" And he told him.
I
and
know.
that's when he said,
up,
he said, "Okay."
Trust.
He said, "Okay, listen," but we still had to worry. I think there was seven other.
it was.
I think it was 8 picks, so there were 7 other teams.
Right.
that were in there. And I remember I was mad. I got up and walked out because we were in the draft room and we traded. So then kind of, all right, come back and, come back when we got 4 picks or whatever.
And that's forever with how they draw the draft out.
And so I got up and I walked back in, and I was texting Joe's agent, Peter Schaefer, and I was like, hey, what are you hearing? What are you hearing? Is anybody going to take him between us? Because, like, we got to get this guy. And, and again, it was one of those things, too, when we took him that, there was an image that had to be fixed. Right. And I think when we took him, a lot of people questioned it. But I didn't. I never did. And I know when he came in on his top 30 visit during the draft process, because I went to his pro day. So I was night before his pro day, and then he came in on his top 30 visit. All right. So I was with him a lot of that week for a week, almost a week straight. And just got to know him, got to know all that was going on around him, the stories that weren't that story. And when you find out what he does for his family, you find out what he does for his hometown and things. I mean, how you can't like the guy, and I get it. And if you want to hold grudges against people, that's something they did a long time ago.
Now everyone loves him here, right. Though.
But listen, hey, if the worst thing that any of us did was on camera,
right?
Do y'all really want that?
No.
And he got unlucky.
We've said this a few times. Like, I'm sorry if I'm not a black man, so I cannot relate to being an African American or a black man or whatever. But if some woman calls me the N-word in my face and I've grew up a certain way and just like she was so disrespectful, you could see that on the camera.
Yeah.
Like alone, that she was the aggressor.
There was a lot more. There was a lot more. There was a lot more of that story too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold that for somebody else to tell. So.
Yeah, for somebody that. Yeah.
And that's the thing, Kyle. I think it goes to show that the work that you guys did to find this stuff out, because I know you guys took a lot of heat about
that. Kyle did. Like, let's give the man some credit.
Yes, Kyle did. I think I said that, but that Kyle did, and you guys did, and there, you guys got a lot of heat for taking him, because there's a lot of thought here in Cincinnati that we were going to try to get him, and a lot of Bengals fans were upset, like, oh great, here we go, draft another guy with a bad character and yada yada yada. And you guys are like, no, he's not what you saw in that 10-second clip or whatever long it was.
Yeah.
Now he's a captain. He's a captain.
Now he's captain.
He was a guy that when he came in, he had his mother with him when he got drafted, and we bring him in the next day, and we introduce him to the media or whatever, and he had his mother with him, and we came up and we sat in my office, and the first thing I said, I said, all right, this is for both of you. There a lot went down to get you here. And I said, all the stuff that happened, this is the last time you're going to hear me talk about it, unless something happens on your end that I got to talk about it. I said, you won't hear about this again. I won't talk about it again. When we leave this room, I said, it's clean slate. And it was, and Joe's one of those guys, like, he is very, if he trusts you and he believes in you, he will do whatever you need him to do,
Very loyal.
And very loyal. But the cool thing about him is he's never wavered from proving everybody wrong. He didn't it's not like he had a good year or went to the Super Bowl and all of a sudden he's like, I'm here, he's like, no, I still got a chip on my shoulder, man. And, there's still people out there that don't believe in me, and he's doing everything he can, man, because he does good things, man. Go look at the camps he runs in his hometown. Right. He does some great things.
He's
an amazing dude, and I am thankful that you drafted him.
Absolutely.
You were helped.
So thank you, Kyle. Thank you for walking out the room this off. Make sure we got him.
Well, I'll tell you what. I gotta throw this out there. Going back to the Mike Brown thing, when we brought him in on that top 30 visit, that's what sold the Bengals on it. Was when he met Mike Brown in Mike Brown's office on the 3rd floor of that end zone facility, all right, overlooking the river. Mm-hmm. That's what sold Joe Mixon to the Bengals, because he went in there. I believe he went in there just with his mom. I didn't go in there with him. I don't think Marvin went in there with him, because a lot of times we'll go in with them when they talk to him, but nobody went in with him. So it was those two in there. And when they came out, it was all smiles and hugs, and
they manned up.
I mean, and it was at that point, I don't think there was ever a doubt that we were going to try to take him at least,
Right.
That's why I said I would have been sweating my nuts off if I was in your position with the trade.
When I don't know who went before him, but when he got taken, I remember just almost like slammed my head on the desk,
Yeah, like,
and because we, at that point, we're holding, like, they had these magnetic tiles up there, and then that's what they turned into the guys that called into the draft, and you probably, I don't even know if y'all know this, but y'all know our trainers and equipment guys are the guys that are sitting at that desk and at the draft. They aren't. That's not like there's GM sitting at those desks.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a huge draft nerd, so I need you to just fill me in on all the stuff I don't know about because it drives me crazy that I don't know.
But he drives me nuts in March. He has all kinds of draft stuff.
The Bengals are pretty cool now. They may do it differently now, so I don't know. But when I was there, every coach was in the draft room for every pick, and it was pretty cool to watch the process. So I learned a lot from just watching the process, because when I went to Detroit, there was more of kind of the Patriot way of they asked you to come in when they needed you.
You've got 2 or 3 guys, they'll pull you in the room, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I didn't see a whole lot. And then my last draft in Detroit was actually that virtual draft. And that was interesting. We're all sitting at home watching it like everybody else.
Right.
We had Zooms going on in front of us, like with the coaches, but like in all reality, like the picks that are coming through, we didn't have the system like they have in the building that had the little ticker that was going off, and we knew 5 minutes before everybody else. But and then we ended up taking DeAndre Swift in that draft in the second round, and that was just so weird because I literally walked into my backyard and FaceTimed him after we drafted him. I didn't see him. I did not see DeAndre Swift until training camp.
Oh wow.
It was weird, man. Yeah. And I saw him on Zoom. I saw him on Zooms. Don't get me wrong. I saw him. We Zoomed the whole time.
That would be so hard as a coach not to know. Like,
it's different for him on Zoom to see him in person and the character content, how he plays. That's gonna be completely different.
And that whole offseason was now that offseason did teach us a lot of things that we can do a lot of things not in the office. All the things about how many hours we work, and coaches are just grinding all the time. Well, we learned a lot about that doesn't necessarily have to happen, because there's a lot of things we can do virtually if we needed to. And, not everybody's going to fall into that, because everybody's, football coaches this is how we do it. This is how we've always done it. And it's one of those things of until somebody mandates it, it's not going to change, but that year showed us a lot. I mean, we got to training camp and they still knew the plays. They were still in shape. I mean, but
Iceman, I'm gonna let you off here. Tell people where they can find you. I'm gonna talk to Kyle and then end this, because I know the game's getting ready to start. You said you wanted to watch the game, right?
No, that's cool. I mean, Travis not here. I can do the fired up set.
I actually gotta get off at some point, because this is
that's what I was.
Well, you can't see it, but I'm actually in I'm in the nursery. I turned my nursery, so my 10-month-old's probably out there crying.
Derek kind of was here because Derek always recorded from like his son's room. He's got a corner though. You look like you got a little more space.
I got a wall, so I got so if you turn it this way a little bit, you can see there's actually a chair. There's a crib.
Yeah, nice. That looks like Derek's written. Like now his kids are like 3 and 4.
Kyle, this is what's good about having older kids. I got the whole damn basement, so it's all.
Well, here's the thing. I live in Louisiana. We don't have basements. They don't even bury people underground here.
Dude, my wife's from Florida. We lived in Florida for the first. All right.
They only bury people.
Hold on, Jeff. Hold on. You'll have him.
I know. I got
Coach, I'd love to have you back on. I took up more of your time than I wanted. I was hoping to get 45 minutes. You came in almost an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, man. Anytime you'd like to come back on, we'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you guys having me on. And hey, if you guys get a chance, we have a foundation. It's Caskey Family Foundation, and it's at Caskey Family FND. You just type in Caskey Family Foundation and Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anything like that. We're trying to help education. So like this year, we helped some teachers get started with their rooms. So we sent Amazon gift cards to help them buy stuff for their rooms. In Detroit, we helped get surfaces during the pandemic for schools that didn't have for kids that didn't have the ability to virtually learn.
Yeah.
And so they're we're not asking for money. All we're asking for is just give us a follow. And because we got a meeting tomorrow. We're going to try to find some ways to get going again now that I've got a little time, unfortunately, but we're going to try to use it in a good way. And my wife is running the foundation and she does a great job. And just give us a follow because we may have something that comes up that can help somebody, and that's what we're trying to get to.
I'll put it out on our page of where to follow. And then do you guys have a website too?
It's
link.
CaskeyFamilyFoundation.org.
Okay. I'll put all that on our pages.
Tag me on it, Dale, so I can tweet it out too.
And then selfishly at Coach Kyle Caskey. And then my wife needs a bigger following on Twitter. She's at NFL Bombshell. All right.
Well, why ain't she following me, sir?
Yeah, all right, she should follow us first. Hold on.
I'll get her to follow y'all. I'll get her to follow y'all. But she's NFL Bombshell, and
tell her to follow her brother-in-law.
I got you. I'll get that done tonight. But no, but I appreciate y'all having me on, and it's I'll say this: the Bengals fan base, especially of late, I mean, for obvious reasons, but even before that, was starting to really take off. And you guys are a tight knit group, and I mean, hell, both of you guys have podcasts, and you're coming on each other's you go on each other's podcasts and help out.
We want to help each other. Like that's the thing. There's some weird people that don't want to do that.
That's my boy right there. My
brother
mother.
But if you look at each other,
yeah.
But if you look around, like I mean, all the crap that the Bengals had been in over the last few years, kind of the end of the time I was there through the first few years of Zach before they went last year, obviously went to the Super Bowl. For the fans to still go online and really defend the team, because there's a lot of people that are.
It's hard sometimes.
We took a lot of shit. That's all I got.
But where I'm going with this is enjoy it. Okay. Yes. Do not get upset if this year doesn't end up as good as last year. If it ends up better than last year, it's hard to
go back to the Super Bowl every year.
If it ends up better than last year, then great. But if it doesn't, here's the thing: enjoy it because that team has players that are elite. Joe Burrow's elite. Chase is elite. Mixon's elite. There's some guys on that defense. Hubbard, I think, is elite. Hendrickson's elite.
Logan Wilson balled out.
DJ Reader.
There's good players across the board on that team, and Clark Harris is elite. All right, Clark Harris is elite. All right, Clark, you heard me say it, man. I had you.
He should go in the Ring of Honor.
Yes.
You know what? I know that sounds crazy, but anybody that plays on the same team for that long as a long snapper, I mean, like Don Muehlbach.
Never a bad snap.
Ever.
Don Muehlbach was in Detroit and got let go last year. Don Muehlbach was a teammate of mine at A&M. He was a year younger than me and played until last year as a long snapper.
Wow.
It was with the Lions the whole time. Like I'm talking about, I don't even know how long that was. I mean, you're talking about like 18 years.
Right.
Something. Right. He should go in Ford Field up there, but
exactly. They should. You got to give more credit to everybody's a part of the team, and we saw how important that was.
Yeah, that's the thing. They put that much sweat and tears into that team for that long.
All right, we gotta get off here. She's clearly horny. My wife is clearly horny. You mentioned Sam Hubbard. That's her favorite guy.
Is that your wife that just said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
She loves her some Sam Hubbard.
I see. Yeah. Marissa, listen, I'm sorry I'm taking him away from you. All right. I know there's times that you just got to get to him, and that's maybe one of them. So Sam or Marissa, Sam, I just called it Sam. Hey, Sam.
You're basically like a couple name now.
She's gonna call Dale Sam tonight, so don't worry about it.
You know what? You know what? Just tell her to call you Sam, and everything will be good.
Yeah, I don't look nothing like Sam.
Hey, Kayla's name is Dusty, or Kayla's brother's name is Dusty. Okay, so I mean,
I might start calling Dale Dusty now. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
Dusty.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys having me, man.
See you, brother. Thanks for coming on. I'll see you next Friday.
Right now, yes. Unless my wife decides that we got to go do something, yes. Right now, next Friday, I'll be there.
All right, brother.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yep. I'll see you.
Good day.
All right, Jeff. You want to fire him up or not?
I can do it. All right. So right. How do I do this? You just got to get it started and just
I'm going to play the video, and then I'm going to hold on, let me get you ready for the main screen in general.
Let me get this stuff out. All right, I'm ready.
Why are you so choppy? You need better internet.
I don't know. Sorry.
We'll work with what we have.
All right, you ready?
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hit. You know where you are!
Fire them up!
The Bengals did not play their best game Sunday. But you know what? They lost by 3 points. Dallas, we got something for you. His name is Jackpot Joey Burrow. His name is the real Uno. His name is hopefully T. Higgins. We hope he comes back. Pressure T. Higgins. They're going to come to Dallas and take over. And you know what us Bengals fans are going to be doing? We're sitting here drinking some Jackpot Joey beer and down on them while we whip your ass. Hooday!
Hooday. Let's get this shit. Baby.
Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earned our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, hit the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we feasting now. Thunder through the tunnels, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in trippin' orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who got a move rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move?
Holy hell, that was fucking fun.